Ladies and gentlemen, this is JoeJinMovieSoAwesome. I'm Joe.
I'm Wonjin.
Today we're going to talk about a Korean drama series streaming on
Disney Plus
called Moving. And it's written by who used to be a famous cartoonist in at least Korea, Kang, who has a lot of Korean dramas and movies under his belt. He's since quit cartooning, and he decided to go all screenwriting, and this is one of his newest ones. And we're going to talk about it. Episode 1 to 7. Yeah. This is still going on, by the way, folks. And
supposedly there will be up to episode 20, I think, in the first season. So, spoilers ahead up to episode 7. It's available up to episode 13, so if you have watched that far, you can join us. If you have not started this drama, please come back later. Here we go. You know, this is a show that takes its time, but carried by its writing. Let me tell you something. Besides the Asian cast, there's nothing new here. But every story is the same story. And it's how you tell the story, as we always say. And this story is very structurally sound so far. That's what I got to say as well.
It's very intentional. And Kang, the screenwriter, he's known as somebody who focuses on character. And we get that here too. This show takes a long time for us to get to know individual characters in this whole story, ensemble cast, so to speak. And it's not afraid to go slow with the pace, but the writing holds up on each character, and that's what keeps us in the show. Because when I first saw the first episode, I gotta be honest with you, I was bored as fuck.
What was the first episode about? Was it about the school kids?
No, it's the Bong-seok. He's like tied up in the bed without explanation.
Okay.
But Kang always does this in his series, by the way. There's always a little bit mystery, and it always unfolds one by one. He likes to mix Charles Dickens with a little bit of Sherlock Holmes. He leaves little hints, and then he builds up on it. That's how he always tells his story.
I mean,
though.
I'm not too familiar with this Kangpur's work.
No, but didn't you see the the serial killer movie with the Ma Dong-seok?
Is it like the one where he's a gangster?
Yeah, Ma Dong-seok is a gangster,
and then he always gets in this quarrel with his neighbor over the parking space.
Yeah, and the neighbor happens to be the
that.
circle. That's Kang.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know, these days we see a lot of movies and TV series that are based on these cartoons. And we've seen many of them so far. I mean, we have movies like 강철비, Steel Rain. Yeah. That's also based on a webtoon. And what was it? 신과 함께. I don't know what it is in English.
No, but I also notice a lot of, like, you know, the thing about Korean drama, like, you know, I would say Korean movies and Korean culture became popular around the early 2010s, right? But since then, the introduction of smartphones and the internet, I think, changed everything. Yeah. It's like really hard for me to distinguish like Korean drama and movies with Hollywood stuff. And this series, it has so many Hollywoods and all that, like, because, like, I don't know if unless you're following K-drama or you're Korean, as soon as you watch episode 1 and 2, you know some hot fuzz shit is gonna go down. Because so many, like, famous actors or who used to be S-list, like Brad Pitt level drama, at least in Korea, are cast in roles like a
seemingly not important
person, proprietary fried chicken house, like a CEO, whatever.
And if you're used to these actors, if you know what kind of work they did in the past, then there's no way that they would stay in that character.
Yeah, in that role.
It's like a giveaway.
Yeah. So there's like a lot of hot fuzz moments. But
Hey, but in defense of Kangpur though, there's some extreme violence in this show, but that's not
true.
from like boys and stuff. Like Kangpur done that for a long time. His comic books has always been a little bit like a rated R, but he does try to add like a Spielberg-esque like drama to it. And you know what's fascinating about this show too? The main characters are teenagers, and this is basically the Carrie formula. Because being a teenager is like having a superpower, and it's been used a lot. I'm not speaking something original here. Like a lot of old like scary movies or superhero movies always set the superhero as a teenager because like their growing pains is like very similar to having superpowers, and that adds a lot of drama here. And
even Superman grown up in the Kent farm.
Yeah,
we have Smallville.
Yeah, because up to episode 7, this is an ensemble cast, but you can argue that Hee-soo and Bong-seok are the main characters, and it's really about them growing up and finding about love and caring about another person. And I also like that Banjang character.
Yeah. I think they're cast really well too, because that Banjang character, the class president, he really looks like a typical class president in South Korean classrooms. You can really tell that he takes studying and rules very seriously.
And my favorite episode 5, because that whole episode about Cha Tae-hyun, it was almost like a meta episode.
Oh, you mean the 번개man, the lightning man?
Yeah, because when the teacher said 넌 방송심학과가 맞아, that's saying you are good at like commercial or broadcast major in college. That's like inside joke, because that actor Cha Tae-hyun, he's been famous for 20 years. So it's like a meta joke where they're saying like, we already know you're a famous comedian, but we're trying to make you an actor.
Yeah.
And then he plays basically a comedian superhero role. And then I knew some shit was gonna go down with him and Yoo Seung-bum. And Yoo Seung-bum is a famous actor in Korea, by the way.
Yeah.
He plays a lot of anti-heroes and villain role. But I gotta say, his acting in this series is the best I saw him so far.
Yeah.
Like in the past series and movies, I felt like he was always a little overrated.
And I don't think he played like a role that he had to take like really seriously.
Oh, you mean with dimensions, right?
Yeah.
Because this show tries to make him a little bit more 3D than like T-1000, right? Because he has a story and there's flashbacks.
By the way, Ryu Seung-bum, the guy who plays Frank, the American assassin guy, he used to play a lot of roles that were like kind of like a comic, and he also played roles that are somewhat like goofy, and he's kind of like a smartass. Yeah, but this role was quite interesting because he's like 100% Korean, and he had to act like this adopted child.
No, but I couldn't tell if his accent was intentional as to make him an adoptee, though, because when he was introduced in the first like 1, 2, 3 episodes, I felt like his accent was really poor. But then
which one? Which accent? With like the English or
his English?
I didn't really mind the English because he never grew up in the U.S. in the first place. But what I was impressed with was his intentional like blurring of the Korean accent.
No, but that I felt like that was the easier part though. Once you can do it, it was impressive. But when episode 4 or 5 introduced him as an adoptee and talking about Idaho, that was interesting.
Oh, Iowa.
Yeah, Iowa. And I don't know though, like his build up with the fight with
구룡포.
No, but like this is what it takes to be a Korean. I bet when 구룡포 said "fuck you," every 경상도 남자 in Korea got a hard on, because it's just like because like if you know Korean region name, it's like saying I'm from Austin. And when Naju died, when she said you're 넌 어중간해, when you said you're kind of in the middle, and you said when you meet 구룡포, that's like saying when you meet Austin, you're gonna get fucked up. It's like then Americans will understand, because like his name is like a regional name from 경상도, and 경상도 is reputedly like a tough town for Koreans.
Yeah,
it's like in the southeast for us, close to the ocean. It has a reputation like that. I'm not saying it is. So when 구룡포 said 내가 구룡포다, that was just like saying I'm Austin, Texas, bitch. And he starts beating on the fucker, and they both have healing abilities, and he has it better. And that actor is actually known for playing those roles in Korea. Yeah, he always plays the tough macho role because of his voice and his looks. And that was done really well.
And he's also quite capable of playing a comic role as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And I don't know though. This show had a lot of like small moments that made me enjoy it. And yeah, what's up?
And I also gotta mention that the screenwriting has a good mixture of these, like serious moments.
No, I know what you're saying. You're saying it's like a Spielberg moments.
Yeah, and in the midst of all the seriousness, we do have that comic relief,
levity.
And I like the fact that they're not really forced. That kind of makes me repulsed
I agree.
by it.
It's very confident in its writing, though. There's a lot of scenes that wouldn't have worked if it didn't take its time. But also, it's like I do think it takes a Korean to... Wonjin, what do you think? I feel like this show has global appeal, but at the same time, if it's translated English, I feel like the appeal of keeping you interested in like one episode kind of diminishes, though, because a lot of American shows did this too.
That's true.
You did mention The Boys before we turned on, but not only that though, you also mentioned like Clark
Kent.
What was that show? What was that show called?
Smallville.
Yeah, Smallville.
And we also had like Heroes.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah. I mean, this is a show that mixes a lot of genres together, and it owes a lot to past shows too. Like a lot of these moments are, strictly speaking, not new. The plot twist, but that's what Kang-poo is known for. The screenwriter, he's known for these. His writing is done in a way like the way you would have watched Lost until the last season. That's when you say "fuck you," never do this again. Like there's twists and turns. So Kang-poo is known in Korea for characters and his twists and turns. Those are his two like trademark in every shows he does. And watching up to episode 7, this show definitely keeps it up.
And another thing that I like about this show so far is that it's got the pacing right. It's not rushing itself, and you said that it kind of builds up slowly, but it's not as a slow burn as I experienced in what's it called? Those movies that we talked about?
No, but it's the writing that holds it together.
The Ziegler movies?
Look, it's like I know what you're saying, but I don't know. See, this is why I want to ask the question whether having a subtitle in English will like keep the show alive, though, because there were a lot of Korean fucking moments for me.
I agree, because there were moments while watching, I was wondering what the English sub for that line would be.
Hey, and one more.
A lot of things can get lost in
I watched
translation.
episode 7, so let me say this: the Banjang's father, he's doing that Equalizer shit with that fucking watch.
Oh,
Equalizer 2 is coming. I know he's pretending to be autistic. I know he's gonna fucking do some shit because
we know that something's up.
Yeah, because like me and Wonjin as Koreans, he's a famous actor, by the way.
Yeah,
that's why we know that's not like joking around shit.
And he's the guy who played the serial killer in Kang-poo's movie that you talked about, and he's also the guy in DP. One of the army
he's the senior
guys.
To the 주인공.
He's the one who runs the DP team. He's a good
actor. So when you check the time, I knew he was gonna be like 1/3. I don't know yet because I haven't watched the 13 episodes yet, and there's 20 episodes. But I know. See, this is what Kang-poo is known for. Like in his first 1 to 3 episodes, he always put these like Chekhov's guns everywhere, and then like it always has a payoff. And like you know what, I want to praise Kang-poo because he does such a fundamental storytelling, but he always tries to reinvent himself in these new ways. Yeah. And this is a very interesting take. But I would say this though. If the writing wasn't so good, I would have not watched this show because it's a fucking superhero genre movie. Because I didn't. Hey, before Wonjin, you suggested this thing to me. I didn't even know it was a superhero movie. But the moment Hisu and what the fuck is his name again? The main character.
Bong-seok?
Yeah, when Bong-seok started flying, I was like, "Fuck this shit! It's another one of these superhero movies." You know, that made me a little sad.
I was feeling the same way when people were starting to talk about the show, and I started seeing advertisements for this. It kind of made me want to not watch it. Because I don't like when things are like overly hyped. The same thing happened with Squid Game, by the way. You know, they started talking about it. So I thought, okay, maybe since so many people are talking about it, maybe I should just watch a couple episodes. So after into like episode 3 is about the time when I recommended you. Because I thought, okay, they got something solid here. I mean, I thought it was gonna be boring as hell. It's gonna be full of cliches, but I think even if it's full of cliche, this is pretty well written.
No, but Kangpul is really excellent at making his characters interact with each other. But these different characters, who seemingly at first glance are 2-dimensional, are actually 3-dimensional. You know, he's really good at that. Because, you know, remember even in Yusan, I mean, Ma Dong-seok, like at first glance, he's not a likable character. Especially in the comics, by the way. Because in the movies, Ma Dong-seok was already a famous actor, and he was known as a likable, tough guy. But in the comics, like the gangster, you know, it's always toying with our expectations. That's what I can say. Because Kangpul is really good at, like, showing this character as this character, but in a couple of scenes later, it turns out he has new dimensions. And you know, because I can't wait to see what the teachers are about Chungwon High School too.
You know, we mentioned the class president's father. You know, another character who's got something hidden is that cleaning lady in the school. The one riding on that little scooter thing. She's got something.
You know what?
There's something up with her.
That's all your Tarantino blood fucking with you.
Yeah, because there's gotta be something with her. Because you know, like
there's something going
security
on.
guard at the gate. You know, at the first glance, I knew something was up with him.
No, but by episode 3, they already confirmed it.
Yeah, and then this cleaning lady. Something's gonna go on with this cleaning lady.
Yeah, because that's like the show does so well is like they drops little hints on it. And the thing about Kangpul movies and dramas is there's always a payoff. But the cleaning lady, I think she's gonna do some Hot Fuzz shit, where she pulls out a shotgun from the back of that fucking like what's it called in English? I can't remember, but she's gonna pull something off.
I mean, we already saw with Naju, was it the beauty salon lady?
Yeah.
I did not know a beauty salon could hold so many guns. And
no, but like the funny thing about that show is it was very conscious of old shows because it was playing on our expectations about like secret agents hiding action. So first she opens one and then there's a shotgun, and then second there's a dinosaur shotgun. And then you think that's going to be the end, but there's a third one. And then it turns out it's like Tyrannosaurus X killer with these 2 grenade shots. Yeah. And she shoots that shit on Newsumboom.
I was asking myself, what the hell is that? Is that a gun? Is that a grenade launcher? What the hell is it?
Yeah, that's definitely for warfare. No, but when she said Kuryongpo is going to fuck you up, I knew that Hiju's father was that person. Because he's known for playing that Gyeongsangdo tough guy a little, and when he broke that that handset seller guy,
the phone seller, the
phony phone seller,
thuggy guy,
yeah, you know he's tough, and the show is, and I because Kangpul is a comic book writer, he knows how to like draw a scene, not write a scene. What I mean by that is there are scenes where you expect something to happen. And then it doesn't. And then there are scenes where he's saying it's definitely going to happen now, and it does. And Kangpul is just really good at holding our attention, number one, and paying off that. Like, paying off our attention. Because if it's like Game of Thrones episode 7, we're disappointed with the results, but Kangpul always leave hints on what's going to happen, so it never feels like it's like cheated. Yeah, it's earned, because there's always been hint.
So there are a lot of characters here, and we basically have like 2 different different tracks of story building here. We have the story going on in the high school,
The
in the
kids.
perspective of the kids,
And the parents.
yeah, and then we also have this track of the parents. And I mean, if you're trying to pull both of them off, it could easily lose focus and kind of become like distracting. But I don't know. I'm not really used to, like I said, Kangpur's work, but he's surprisingly good at keeping this very tight. And I love the way the pacing and the way all these details about the characters unfold. And now we're talking up to episode 7, but this is, I mean, I've seen until episode 10, by the way, but this is when...
No, because episode 8 is going to jump to the parents' time.
Yeah, and it continues. It gives focus to their past.
So we're about to get Godfather 1 and Godfather 2 at the same package.
And, I mean, I don't think you've seen it, but I saw this TV show called Casino. In English, it was called Big Bet with Choi Min-sik.
I did, saw it.
Oh, and then there was also a flashback of Choi Min-sik in that show. But after finishing both seasons, they turned out to be completely useless. There's no reason why they needed that flashback.
Wonjin, let me tell you something. The moment you told me there was 20 episodes, like, knowing Kangpur's work, I know it's going to come back. He's like a slow-paced Nolan without the fucking logical shit. Without the high science shit. So, but Kangpur is I would say this, though. If you like Spielberg movies, watch this show because it's a very human drama at the end of the day. You know, Korean writers, if you watch Old Boys or... What's Hanyoder called in fucking English?
Hanyoder? Hanyoder?
Yeah.
What is that?
The Park Chan-wook 감독 movie.
Hanyo.
Oh, yeah, Hanyo.
I think it's Handmaiden.
Yeah, the Handmaiden.
The Handmaiden, yeah.
If you like a little bit of fucking European spice on Korean drama shit, you should watch this. Yeah. And it's rated R. And since we haven't finished it all, let's give it a grade.
Well, so far, I would give this show... I would give it an 8 out of 10. I would give it an 8,
I would give it a 9.
Really?
The writing...
It's very generous.
No, the writing is really good. I just hope it translates to English, though, because there are a lot of nuances where, you know... Wonjin, you watched True Detective Season 1, right? True Detective?
I haven't finished
With
it.
Matthew McConaughey? You didn't?
Not yet. I still haven't
Fuck
seen
you barbarian. You call yourself a civilized fucker? No, I'm just kidding. No, because there's something about an actor's charm that carries dialogue.
Matthew McConaughey is completely capable of such things.
You know, let me tell you something. Interstellar wouldn't work without Matthew
Yeah,
McConaughey.
that's right.
I can't imagine some actor without, like, because, like, the lines he says is nonsensical, but the actor makes, like, you know, the charm and the look of the actor makes it alive. I think,
all right.
all right. No, you'll never. But I have to, and then he does the fucking spaceship.
Oh yeah, it's impossible. No, it's necessary.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a badass line.
Yeah.
That's the best line in the movie. No, it's necessary.
And McConaughey makes it work. Just like Gladiator. Russell Crowe made those corny lines work. Father, I'm a general.
And now I'm going to have my vengeance.
Vengeance. Fuck you. And then as soon as the camera turns off, he's like, fuck you, screenwriter. What the fuck is this Disney shit? I made it work, bitch. Fuck you. You get paid $3,000 for this shit? No, I mean $30,000 a month? Fuck you. But like this back to moving. Like, the line delivery is really good. The acting is really good.
Oh, I forgot to give the props to the actors. You know, all the actors and actresses in this movie, like you said, Koreans know them. They're like a lot of A-listers.
They used to be A-listers.
And there are also actors who are not usually given like a lead role, but who still, nevertheless, does an excellent job at playing the character.
Roles.
Yeah, especially Moon Sung-gun. You know that boss kind of guy in the
National Intelligence Service boss.
Thing.
He's like a CIA boss from the Korean side.
He's my favorite character in the whole show.
No, but like, hey, I didn't want to say this, but that American Diplomat scene was really unrealistic for me.
Yeah, that was a bad cast because he looked more like the Punisher than like a diplomat.
Hey, that white boy was handsome, by the way.
Yeah, but he's still... I wouldn't believe that he's a diplomat.
No, but like, I wouldn't believe that conversation to happen. when Korea calls,
Oh, that's true.
America will not call back. Please call back later. And they're like, motherfucker, I spy on Germany and France too, bitch. What the fuck you talking about?
And it's great that you brought this up because when Moon Sung-gun, the boss guy at the security agency, and the American diplomat, when they were having conversation, it gave me the same vibe I got from Squid Game when those foreigners appeared.
Yeah. That's
because like the lines that they have, they don't exactly sound natural.
Yeah, see, that's the problem with, like, because it's always the nuance of language, right? It's hard to translate how Koreans feel about the same thing. And I felt like a lot of dialogue would have been weak if it was turned into English. Unlike Old Boy. Because for Korean dramas to succeed outside of Korea, the plot has to be strong. That's why I felt like Squid Game worked, because it's the plot that matters. I mean, the characters are always, like, they're given time enough for us to know them. But it's not like Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
It's really hard to give them dimension when there's the language barrier. And I definitely feel that in the show, because I definitely felt like the teenage drama works because it's Korean, because I'm Korean. But if it was an American, I've seen this drama hundreds of times before. Carrie is about teenagers growing up. There's so many teenage superhero movies already.
That's true.
And there's horror elements too. Every horror show, you know why every horror show has like teenagers going to the fucking lake? Because like being a teenager is like having a superpower. It's about feeling special when you're not. And they always play with that emotion.
Yeah.
No, but Stephen King, because he wrote that Carrie shit, when the girl started having period and she has power, it's like a metaphor for being a teenager.
Yeah.
And hey, by the way, like having watched episode 7, it plays heavily on that. And I kind of got angry at Bong-seok too. I was like, "Kiss her, bitch! Fuck you!" It took 7 episodes for him to say, "Mother, you've been But I would say this though. This is why it's a Korean drama, because Korean understands that parent wanting to control you. It's like an Asian thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Krasta, it's not a Korean thing. It's every Asian culture thing where the parents tries to control the kid, and there's that tension. It definitely plays on that. And because having lived in America, I know Parenthood isn't like that anymore.
And although in the show, the parents kind of hide all this information because they don't want their kids to know about it, but in reality, it's not far off. Parents of our generation, they keep a lot of things away from us. I mean, they just want us to focus on studying.
Well, let me tell you something. Parents these days, they still do that shit. This is like, okay, so here's the Kangpur's defense. Like, he's really good at telling universal stories, like Spielberg here. It's like Steven Spielberg. It's about parenthood too. This story is about parenthood, about history, and about all the love and drama and jealousy. Even the villain gets to mention. When I saw Ryu Seung-bum's tattoo as F, I was like, fuck, I knew this was a comic book, bitch. Like, what secret agency puts their fucking... It's like Jason Bourne having JP written on his back. Who the fuck does that, man?
And the sheer size of the thing.
I know. I was like,
does it have to be that big?
I was like, first of all, the kid, you grabbed the kid when he was smaller. So you know that scar's gonna get bigger. Right? Like what? Anyway, that's just silly nonsense. It's done for the audience.
So, and good to know that. I mean, great that you mentioned Yoo Seung-bum, the Frank character. I also like the fact that the writer gave enough dimensions to him because, and also it's not blatantly told to us what he's feeling. We're just hinted that he's feeling guilty after figuring out that the beauty salon lady, she adopted a lot of kids, and he's feeling guilty about it.
I don't know though. I did feel like it was easy sentimental points though. It worked because there were so many characters.
Yeah, and also I like the fact that they showed us that he's feeling guilty and pain by like hurting himself using the lighter in the car. Yeah, he was burning his own skin.
No, but I do feel like it worked because there was a lot of characters, just like the boys. I wouldn't say like, okay, I know what you're saying though. It made sense though, but I did feel like his fight with the Kurumpo was good, but not excellent in the fact that, what I liked about the boys is it's such a
fucking meta series that it always plays on our expectations. But here's the thing, though. In defense of the show, we are at a TV internet age where, you know why the first reason you and I got bored in the first 2 episodes is we've seen the show before.
Yeah.
And I think it's
another teenage romance slash
hero.
like adventure slash hero.
But it's done well. So I do commend that. But I do want some, because I thought Lee Seung-bum would like revive.
You think so? Oh, with like bunch of burnt scars or something.
Not just that, but the neck thing. When they were toying, because they have the same superhero power, right? On episode 7. I thought they were gonna show something really shocking, like Lee Seung-bum's being faced like pumpkin the fuck out, and then recovering, because in Wolverine, remember Wolverine gets pulverized, like to mesh, like a
dead log.
No, not just that, like a meat pie, and then he revives. Like there's these shocking moments where, like the cellular level just goes up.
And I think now that you say it, it's going to be an interesting contrast because Guryongpo, he's based on a seabed town, and he's used to the waters. And if Ryu Seung-bum comes back, he'll be coming back from flames. That'll be an interesting contrast.
Oh, there's a lot. I do think it's not over though.
And if he ever comes back, I think he's going to switch sides.
No, but remember, there's already hints from that Korean CIA guy with the breathing problem. I felt like he was Fishman or something.
Oh, that guy was kind of disturbing.
No,
he was also playing that thing really well. He reminded me of like what is that amphibious animal?
Salamander.
Oh, they like a salamander.
I thought so too.
Yeah,
because they're giving huge hints that oxygen doesn't work, but I feel like the water power thing is gonna come too. But I was really looking for the Hanyoju flying around using a sniper scope to shoot fucking like CIA agents in the head. But I was so disappointed that Choi In-sung was the husband, and it turns out Bong-seok got both their superpowers. I wanted you to like do some equilibrium shit, Matrix shit.
And now that they they're starting to invest on Cho In-sung, who's Bong-seok's father, who gets to fly around. I think he's not dead or something. I think he will make a return into the show.
Anyway, I think that's about it. I think we should stop speculating.
So, I mean, this show will release 2 episodes each week. So we so far have episode 13. So maybe we will catch up. And after we're done with it, we will probably make them like a short comment on them. Like every 2 episodes.
No, we'll do a finished one, man.
Okay. So we'll wait until they finish.
Yeah, this podcast today is for us to suggest to you to watch it. Anyway, I give it 8. Wonjin gave
no, I give an 8. You
gave
gave a 9.
So it's 8.5, guys.
8.5.
Hey, anyway, Oppenheimer, no comments. We saw that. My mic was off, but I guess you guys don't give a fuck. But anyway, this has been JoeJinMovieSoAwesome. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Please watch Moving. Disney Plus is a great show. I have been Joe.
Oh, it's Wonjin.
And thank you to ZZ for leaving a comment on our last podcast.
Oh, hold on.
What's up?
There.
Hey, ZZ. Thank you so much, guy. Hey, man. Leave a comment on our real comment too, man. Wonjin said he will buy you a very expensive premium like notebook, man, wherever you are.
I did not say that ever. And it was actually Joe.
Oh, hey, thank you, ZZ, for like, hey, man. Hey, we're from Korea. Hey, I'm glad you like our stuff. Please come back later. We will talk about new shit later, man.
All right.
Just leave a comment, and when we get 10,000 subscribers, you'll be in our mind. You and Uichan Hong. There are 2 subscribers that's competing for the top spot. You're one of them, ZZ. The other guy disappeared. Please come back. Okay, anyway, this has been JoeJinMovieSoAwesome. I was Joe.
I was Wonjin.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Zed. I feel like Zed is an intentional name, though. It's interesting how you kept it ZZ.
Reminds me of Pulp Fiction.